This lesson is on solving systems by graphing. So here's a warm-up. We want to evaluate each expression for x equal 1 and y equal -3. So all we do is substitute in 1 for x, -3 for 4. So pause the video and try that. The second part is write each expression in slope-intercept form. Remember, slope-intercept form is y equal mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So it's just rearranging the equation. So pause the video and try these. The objectives are to identify solutions of linear equations in two variables and to solve systems of linear equations in two variables by graphing. Vocab: systems of linear equations and a solution of a system of linear equations. So a system of linear equations is a set of two or more linear equations that contain two or more variables. A solution for a system of linear equations with two variables is an ordered pair that satisfies each equation in the system. So if an ordered pair is a solution, it will make both equations true. So here we have 5, 2. That's our ordered pair. X is 5, y is 2. So what we want to do is substitute that in and see if it solves the equation. For the first one, when we put in 5 for x and 2 for y, 5 over 5 cancels. Remember, this is the same as 5 over 1, and you can cancel this direction. And then that gives us 2. 2 minus 2 is 0, and so that's true because a solution is going to give us 0. Or it's going to be true in any case because this one is 0, this one's 13, so that's what we'd expect here. So again, substituting in 5 for x, -2 for y, and then simplifying. 15 minus 2 is 13. 13 equal 13 is true. So this is a solution of the system. So this is what, if you were to graph it, this is your point, 5, 2, where the two lines would intersect. If an ordered pair does not satisfy the first equation in the system, then you don't need to try it on the second one because it's not going to be a solution. So here we're going to try this, -2, 2. Substituting into the first one, it is true, it works. Substituting into the second one, it does not work. So the ordered pair -2, 2 makes one equation true and not the other, so it is not a solution of the system. So try this one out. Pause the video. Substituting in 1, 3, we get both of them are true, so it is a solution of the system. Try this one. And it satisfies the first equation but not the second equation, so it is not a solution of the system. All solutions of a linear equation are on its graph. So if you graph a line, if the point is not on that line, then it's not going to be a solution for that line. To find a solution of a system of linear equations, you need a point that each line has in common. In other words, you need the point of intersection. So we have these two equations, and if I graph the two lines, in blue we have the first one, in red we have the second one, and they intersect at 2, 3. So x is 2, y is 3, and that gives us this ordered pair. Sometimes it's difficult to tell exactly where the lines cross when you solve by graphing, so it is good to confirm your answer by substituting it into both equations. So we want to solve the system by graphing, so we're going to graph the lines, and there they are, but it looks like it's at -1, -1. We want to make sure that it is. So in order to do that, we're going to put it back into the equations. It works in the first one, it works in the second one, so in fact it is the correct solution. And here's another one. We want to write them in slope-intercept form because that way it's easier to graph. And it says graph using a graphing calculator, because this time, look, we're getting a 3.75 and -2.25 is where they intersect. And that would be hard. We couldn't see that on the graph. So we would have to do that on a graphing calculator or use a different method. And in your graphing calculator, there's a y equal, and that is, where'd my calculator go? There it is. On the top left, it says y equals. So you would go to that and then just put your equation in, and after you have both equations in, hit the graph button, which is across on the right, still at the top, and then you could use the trace button in order to find the point where they intersect. So the solution is 15/4 and -9/4. So try this one out. Graph it and then just check. It looks like it's -2.3. Substituting it in, it is the correct solution. Now this one we had to rewrite slope-intercept form and then graph it. And we got an intersection at 3, -2. If we check that, we find that it does in fact work. So that is our solution. Now, of course, math really applies to the real world, and so that's where our word problems come from. Ren and Jenny are reading the same book. Ren is on page 14 and he reads 2 pages every night. Jenny's on page 6 and reads 3 pages every night. After how many nights will they read the same number of pages? How many pages will that be? So we want to find a solution by setting up 2 equations. So Ren is on page 14, so 14 will be our y-intercept. And he reads 2 pages a night, so that would be 2 times x representing each night. And so we're going to have y equal 2x plus 14. Jenny starts on page 6, so that's the y-intercept for that one, and reads 3 pages every night, so she's going to have 3 times x. So our equation will be y equal 3x plus 6. And I just talked you through all of this, understanding the problem, make a plan. Our plan was writing our system of equations. Now that we have the system of equations, we can graph them. So when we graph them, we see that it looks like 8, 30 is where it's going to be. So the number of pages read will be the same at 8 nights, because this axis gives us how many nights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is how many pages. And of course we can check that in our equations. And we do get the same answer, 30 and 30, when we put in 8. So it works. You try this one. Pause the video. So you needed to understand the problem. The answer will be the number of movies rented, for which the cost will be the same at both clubs. So the important information is Club A, $3 for the rental price. Club B is $2 for the rental price. Membership is $10 at Club A and $15 at Club B. So we need to write our system of equations. The total cost is the price times how many rentals, so X is going to be how many rentals, plus the membership fee, which is our first thing we pay. So we have our two equations. Then we graph them, and it looks like it intersects at 525. So the cost will be the same for 5 rentals, and the total cost will be $25. So we can put that back into our two equations and make sure that we did get the right intersection, and we did. So try out the lesson quiz. Pause the video. And the first one does not meet the criteria. They're not the same. And the second one is. That is a solution to the system. Try this one. So you should have gotten 2.5 for the first one. And you should have gotten 4 months and 13 stamps for the second one. And that concludes our lesson.